Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Don't Quote Me on This podcast.
A lot of people always told me I got the face from it. You know? Get it? Yeah, anything.
I was told I had a bot for podcasts.
Is that a thing?
I guess the pod bot.
I got a pod bot.
I got the pod bot.
Yeah, cool, man. I love a good pod bot.
It's replacing the dad bot. It's like, oh, you might have a very low-key radio station. Listeners.
Don't quote me on this.
What am I even offering?
There is no real data in there. There's no charts. There's no.
Hey, I'm not going to ruin your career. I'm just like sitting here swearing up the storm, making inappropriate jokes anyway. I mean, think Jeffrey Epstein ever just had coffee from somebody? Every time he had coffee, they turn childly.
Try me, bitch! Come on, just fucking try me!
What's this guy's name?
I think that I've got Ron Paul's endorsement for my podcast.
What caliber handgun do you need to take down a bear? I've seen the 22 shoot you in the knee.
I'm taking the moral low ground here.
No, are you kidding me? The White House? That's patriarchal as fuck. That thing is going to get torn down. It's going to be in the shape of boobs.
Every time I've been searched by the police.
It ain't gay if it's TSA.
What, you're not going to cavity search me? I can legitimately see it being a child going down to get a cup of coffee. No, you should definitely cavity search. Please, put those fingers up my butt.
It's not fucking Berger!
Whenever they find something, they take it out and they put it on top of the car. They're not doing that. Ghislaine Maxwell, she was saying they did 3 orgasms a day. How do you know there's nothing up there?
I don't smoke weed. I'm a good Christian boy.
I know people drink 3 cups of coffee per day. I'm just saying. At this point, I realized that they're going to take my car from me.
It's fucking Berger!
So basically what happens is...
Please explain it wrong. I want to see this.
What's with your Monday energy?
Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. It's another Thursday. I missed last Thursday. I'm a failure. But guess what? Today I have a hot, fresh, old, live. Is it old? Is it live? You'll never know. I'm going to say it's live right now. So if you're watching this right now, leave us comments. It's live, even though it's old. Episode. It's with a buddy of mine, Seth. He's a great dude. He's of the Mises Caucus of New Hampshire, and he's a veteran, and he's a good reader. This dude will sit down and put more work into, I guess, civic duty than any politician that we have in office. So I respect him for that. He'll sit down and he'll read hundreds and hundreds of pages of a bill, which is, like, unprecedented if you're getting elected. So I like that about him. He's an intelligent, thoughtful guy. He's fun to talk to, good dude, and I appreciated him coming on the show. So without further ado, I'm going to start this episode. You can sit back and enjoy the show and relax. Yeah, relax. Fucking relax. It's been a stressful day, okay? And I'm going to keep my mouth shut for the rest of the episode, I think. So... don't quote me on this. That's it. This is the Don't Quote Me on This podcast. Thanks for tuning in. Here you go. Here's the show. All right, we're recording. All right, this is it. We're live. We are live right now. So if you want to talk to us, put messages in that chat box.
Are we live? No, we're not live.
All right. We are live right now.
Lots of professionalism here.
So I got with me Seth. I will spare your last name unless you want it out there.
Sure. I don't care. Seth Hall.
Yeah. Seth Hall. He's another Mises Caucus guy from the Libertarian Party. I guess. And we try not to affiliate with those people.
Dirty Mises people.
No, there's dirty Libertarian Party.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I was trying to point it the other way. I was trying to point the other direction. Just like I guess we're in the same group as the Libertarian Party.
By the time this airs, it might just be the Mises Party.
The Mises Party. So tomorrow, Seth and I are going to a very important event. One of the most important events that's happened around the globe probably in the last 20 or 30 years in New Hampshire. Libertarian Party Convention. There's going to be about 40 people there.
More than the UN Summit. Definitely more important than the Geneva Convention. This is it. This is the convention that matters.
I've been referring to it as the convention for 2 or 3 years now. I can't wait till the convention. Just the convention. My girlfriend hears me say the convention. For 3 years she's known that I mean tomorrow.
Yeah. It's all been leading up
to
tomorrow.
Our whole relationship. Mrs. Cox takes over. She's breaking up with me.
So you're updating your Twitter profile now, or not Twitter?
God, no.
Taking over.
Yeah, COVID on Tinder. Diseases. I don't know the diseases you get from those internet girls. E-COVID.
Getting COVID via Skype. We're not wearing a mask.
Yeah. So Seth, I wanted to bring him on the show because he's a unique person. He's not only a veteran and like a funny guy, but he will sit down and as like a citizen of the United States spend I would imagine hours upon hours of his life, which I would never want to do.
Yeah.
Reading hundreds of pages of a fucking bill that may or may not even get passed. Just so he knows whether it should get passed. I respect and admire that because the people that we vote for to represent us do not do that. And Seth is over here like, I want to know what's in it.
So like, I've always hated like you'll hear in like courts and stuff like ignorance of the law is an excuse, but like there's no one that actually knows all the law. like there's no one like congressmen. Like I don't even think the people that write the laws have read the whole bill because it's like pieced together by different groups and teams and collaborative people and then like stitched together. So I don't even think the people that write the bills have read all the bills.
And who negotiates what goes in? Okay, so. Alright, we're recording.
Alright.
This is it. We're get passed. Just so he knows whether it should get passed. And it's like, I respect and admire that because the people that we vote for to represent us do not do that. And Seth is over here like, I want to know what's in it.
So like, I've always hated like, you'll hear in like courts and stuff, like ignorance of the law is an excuse, but like, there's no one that actually knows all the laws. Like, there's no one, like, congressmen, like, I don't even think the people that write the laws have read the whole bills. Because it's, like, piecemealed together by different groups and teams and collaborative peoples, and then, like, stitched together. So I don't even think the people that write the bills have read all the bills.
And who negotiates what goes into that? Okay, so here's my impression of this. And this is something you see congressmen and women complain about sometimes. Like, well, you know, this bill is 4,000 pages long, and we just got it slapped on our desk yesterday at 5. So before that bill is slapped on their desk, so the congressman didn't write it, first off. Our representatives didn't write it.
No.
But then they get slapped on the desk at 5. Who the fuck wrote it? And also, who's doing the negotiation about what gets in there and what doesn't? Because shouldn't there be some qualifying stuff? Like, that doesn't fly. You can't put that in the bill.
Yeah, like, there should be. There's not, though. Like,
and why are regular people like you and I sitting here like, I don't know, man. Like, I think we should, you know, you've reached the point where you're like, I feel like I should spend the hours of my life reading these hundreds of pages. I'm at the opposite point of my life. Like, I used to think, hey, you know, as a kid, maybe I'd run for office or something. Now I'm like, hell no. Hell no.
The other thing is, too, though, is like these same people that are like, the bill's 4,000 pages. That's ridiculous. and then they still vote on it.
We have
It's
to
like,
vote yes.
how about you're like, hey guys, can we do our job for once and figure out what we're actually voting on?
Yeah, and the answer is no.
No, they can't.
No, they can't.
Yeah. Few things scare me though is like bipartisan bills. Like if you have like a straight Democrat bill that they
buy?
No.
You're okay with the straight ones. You're not
Yeah.
okay with the bi ones. Wow.
We are the Mises, right?
This judgmental motherfucker.
Yeah.
He's playing into his own stereotype here, and I like it.
No,
I'm into that.
The bipartisan bills freak me out because, like, at least if it's like a straight Republican bill or a straight Democrat bill, it's just like, and then it's like forced down everyone's throat. You at least know what side it's in. The like bipartisan bills are like a combination of the most evil shit from both sides. Like,
it's like George Carlin said: if it's a bipartisan bill, that means you're getting twice as fucked.
yeah, like it's not like it was worked out and like they met in an agreement. It's just like both sides just pile their shit into one bill and force it through.
Like every American spying apparatus agency that's ever. Yeah, if you guys like the NSA, put a message in the comments right now. We'll talk to you about it.
And if you are a member of the NSA, also leave a message in the comments.
And we'll talk to you about it.
Right.
We'll put you on our list. How's that?
Or I guess we'll just get a knock on the door while it's live streaming.
First name I have on my list is Nick Sarwark. Second name is like whoever's in the comments right now.
Oh, man.
Excited to meet that guy tomorrow. Nicholas.
Nick, yep.
Nicholas.
Saint Nick, yep.
Maybe not meet him. Saint Nick. Jolly old Saint Nick. Jolly old Saint Nick. Yeah, all sorts of characters. Heist is going to be there tomorrow.
It's crazy that this is going to air, like, after.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I've spent so much time, like, getting hyped up for this convention, and then...
That's why I thought maybe we should do this after.
Yeah.
Because all we're going to talk about
We can
today
do it again after.
So,
We can just
I think we should.
recap.
I think we should.
Yeah.
My problem is I only have... Well, I guess I could stream more. I could stream more than 1 hour per week. I have the time on my hands to do it. I just have to be like, hey, can I stream a second time per week? And then the network will be like, yeah, you can stream a second time per week?
Yeah.
When do you want to do it? I'll be like, how about afternoons on Tuesdays or something? Like, I'll just pick another time.
Yeah.
Because then I could stream this on Tuesday. And then I could record. But then it's like, now I have to record. Now I have, like, the obligation of setting up twice as many per week. But it's hard. It's
But if you can just do it yourself, shit-faced at noon. It would give you a reason to be shit-faced
You
at
like-
noon on Tuesday. So if you think about it, that aspect of it, it's
Let me ask you a question.
professionalized.
As a fan and also a guest on the show, do you prefer when I have guests or when I'm shit-faced by myself? You answer this wrong, and I'm going to say that I prefer the second one, too.
I don't guess, man. Well, it's also like who you have. Like,
Yeah, true.
Dennis is like,
That was
You
the
gotta
best
love-
episode ever.
yeah. And then Nolan's hysterical, too. So,
He's
I
a
mean,
funny
it's
guy.
like, yeah, it depends, I guess.
Fair.
It is fun sometimes to watch you just shit-faced rambling.
Yeah. I think I
Especially, like, the longer the podcast goes when you're shit-faced and rambling, like, it gets more and more shit-faced rambling. So it's just like a perpetual snowball.
I have a thing that I do that, like, I'll just, if I'm talking, I will keep talking. And this isn't always, but, like, so if I'm having a conversation with my girlfriend, we reach the point where she's like, you know, I guess I had enough of the conversation. I'll keep going, like, and, you know, unless you tell me to stop, I'll keep going. She's like, oh, is Bill's hour a bill? And so, but I can keep talking. And
She's got her headphones in, she's on her phone, you're just like, and another thing!
There's a certain point where I realize I'm getting derailed, but then I'm also, like, kind of amused by it, and I just don't care. So I'll just keep going, and if it gets more ridiculous, I'm like, well, this is where it is, you know? If I'm here talking about this bullshit, that's where I'm at. I'm gonna fucking own it.
That's kind of how it,
I
like...
probably seem more drunk than I even am, too. And I will get drunk. That's not yeah. Go ahead.
That's kind of like how I got with the bills. It's like, I'd be like rage reading the bill, and like I'm part of like a couple other like group chats or whatever. I'll be like, oh, you guys want to know another fucking thing that's in this thing? Well, also, they're giving $1 billion to a telescope. $1 billion to a telescope, which that actually was in the bill, was $1 billion to a telescope.
Nobody needs a bill.
And then like from there, I like look up, like, because I get super sidetracked, and I'll, like, look up the telescope, and I'm like, this telescope they already gave $16 billion to. Like, we were getting another $1 billion? Like, yeah, you could go to the moon for that on, like, well, maybe not. I really don't know the cost to go to a moon, but...
I think it was less than that when they did the first
Yeah,
one.
that's what I mean.
I think it was less than $1 billion.
And it was another thing that was in, like, that super omnibus stimulus bill. They gave, like, $25 million to for the transportation costs of committee members of a civil rights group in Atlanta. For $25 million, you could buy a new Toyota Corolla every time you needed to drive for a year and get around. Like,
That sucks. However, they also gave me money which I can buy audio equipment with. So, shout out to the stimulus checks. This podcast is brought to you by stimulus checks.
give me that stimmy money.
If you're looking to start a podcast, call Joe Biden. He'll send you $1,400. You can buy some microphones. Actually, I didn't.
But don't make any money
stimulus.
from it because you'll get taxed. So.
Right. I didn't use any stimulus money. This is all out of pocket. My stimulus money is fucking still just waiting to be used. Just stupid. It's depreciating value every time they print another one.
Yeah.
The last one's
Might as well
less.
cash it now. Get some assets. I don't know.
I should buy Bitcoin. Tesla. Buy Tesla. If you have money to put into Tesla, buy Tesla.
Dogecoin.
Within the next month. Dogecoin too. I support Dogecoin. I don't know a lot about it, but I am a financial advisor.
It's like the opposite of what you're supposed to say. It's like, this is what you should do. I'm not a financial advisor, though. You're like, I don't know what you should do, but I am a financial advisor.
No, I said I do support it. I do think you should do it. I don't know a lot about it, but I am a financial advisor.
Yeah, just not.
Right. Right. I
One
will
that knows
tell
what
you-
they're doing. Yeah.
I will tell you what to do. I am a financial advisor. I don't know anything about finance.
Yeah. What do you do?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm a dude that has, like, a high school diploma, and I'm sitting there reading a fucking bill.
No,
you know what I mean?
no.
Like,
Hey, you're a straight white man who owns property. So obviously you have a vested interest in this oppressive system.
as we're looking at a copy of White Fragility on the table.
I love Robin DiAngelo. Sometimes I just prop the book up in the view and I just like, have you seen that?
Yeah,
Just like caress it a little
yeah,
bit.
yeah.
It's good. I want to get a Robin DiAngelo face.
And just wear it.
Yeah,
during,
it's like,
during a podcast.
I want to feel what her whiteness must feel like, because it doesn't feel like my whiteness. I don't think that her experience of whiteness, I don't think that she can understand my experience. Maybe it's because I'm such a straight white male.
But if you get a mask, you can.
Well, Robin DiAngelo.
So if you get an Obama mask, do you know what it feels like to be Obama?
I feel like it's just blackface. It's just cheap blackface.
That's fair. Yeah.
Or it's high quality, expensive blackface. I guess that's debatable. An Obama mask, is that appropriation? He's American. No, Kenyan, we can't do it.
Jesus. No, that's not.
Not allowed to wear the mask.
Yeah.
Yep.
You get a Sarwak mask? Is that an appropriation of rodents? Is that
No.
no?
No. No, but I just wouldn't want to platform him like that. With my face. Like, my body is quite a platform. It's like a large platform
Yeah.
to put a sign on my head.
Yeah. You're reaching out to the mass audiences, and you don't want to promote Nick.
No.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, it's funny. I tweeted yesterday.
But you will promote blackface. So.
I'm not promoting it. I'm just saying that Obama would. Did I promote it? When did I promote it? I can't say I've never promoted it. I don't. I think racist shit is racist. I don't promote blackface. If somebody did it and I shared it, if it was the Jimmy Kimmel video or whatever, and I shared it, or Trudeau, I shared it. I guess that's platforming it, right?
Yeah.
Promoting it. You could argue. If I had Trudeau on my podcast, would I be platforming a racist who did blackface? No, he's the Prime Minister of Canada, so it doesn't
Yeah.
count for him. But
He's
what
liberal,
if he
so
was
it's
Trump?
okay.
What if Trump had done blackface? Can you imagine? Okay, we have two countries.
Well, he's doing orange face, so
He's appropriating Mandarin culture.
is cross-dressing appropriating women's culture thing? Is that sexist to cross-dress?
I feel like
Are
there's-
trannies sexist?
There's people who feel that way.
Say cross-dress.
There are people who feel that way.
I don't even know anymore. I really wish, like, if they're gonna continue to be crazy on all this social nonsense, if they could put out like a chart of what I can and can't do, that'd be pretty cool.
The chart, the
Yeah.
new rules.
The rules.
The new rules.
Because they even go against themselves, so it's...
Well, yeah, it's hard. It's hard. Well, that's the problem with intersectionality. Is it's like it turns into a fist fight pretty quick.
Real quick.
Like, who is more oppressed? You know. It's unfortunately up for debate.
You
I
gotta
don't
support Iran for being who they are, but you also
Even if
gotta...
that means-
Even if that means they throw gays off buildings.
Well, they have a very high rate. They're very supportive of transgender.
Have you seen those...
Is it Pakistan? What is the country where they're it's like okay to be trans, but it's not okay to be gay?
Thailand?
No, I think you mean gay in Thailand. No, but I think it's like Pakistan or Iran. I could be wrong, but it's one of them where it's like they have like one of the highest like transition rates. Because like if you're a gay man, that's like punishable by death. But if you're like, oh, you're a man trapped in a woman, or a woman trapped in a man's body, like, oh no, that's something else. And so they just transition everybody. It's like not okay to be gay, but if you, it's like a weird thing. We could Google it.
Yeah.
I think it might be Iran. It also might be.
From my time in the Middle East, I don't think they're that cool with trannies, in my opinion. Could be wrong.
I mean, I believe, like I say, I don't know what country it was, and I don't know what country you were in. I don't think that's every country, and I don't know that they're super cool.
Yeah,
with
no,
it.
I'm not
just
saying
I'm
every
just saying it's
country.
not punishable by death. When you go from being gay, which is like we will throw you off of a roof, to you're a tranny, now you're like you can't come into this bar or something, which is not to say they're super accepting by any means. It's just to say like they're not.
Yeah.
It's like a thing where if you.
Well, they also don't have bars, so.
Well, whatever it is. Okay, listen. I'm ignorant. This is the don't quote me on this podcast.
Alcohol is banned in most of the countries.
Because of people like me.
What? Have you seen those people that were like hanging up the signs and stickers to like blow signs where it's like they posted all the stickers to like it's okay to be white and the Muslims were right about women, and like they didn't know how to react to that, like because either way you're wrong. Like
That's crazy.
If, like the Muslims are right about women. Like, just was blowing Democrats' brains. Like, because you can't take the affirm or the negative and not be offensive. You know what I mean?
That's really fun. You got to put those on your church when you're having an illegal service during COVID, and then nobody. It's like, wait, do they support? They're the most. Are they inclusive? Do they hate people? Are they breaking the law? Are they a refuge for people who are oppressed?
Dude, I was driving. I was driving past a church that was having an outdoor service, where everyone was standing in a line like they were in pews, and then there was like the pastor or whatever like standing up. Like
It's literally
like,
the same things outside.
Yeah. But outside with no like benches, seats, or anything, and people just standing where they would be in a church, and then like a pastor up on a podium. It's the creepiest thing to watch. It literally looks like, you know what I mean? Like, it's weird. It was really uncomfortable to like. I slowed down driving through. I'm like, what the fuck is going on over there?
Have you seen that or read that book, Childhood's End? It's like a weird old sci-fi book. something about like the fertility rate, like people stop having kids, and it's like this weird thing. But a certain number of the kids that are around, just like all the kids start doing this weird thing. They become like a collective hive mind. They go out in the field and do these weird things. It's like it's very strange. It's a very strange book. But what you just described sounds like that. It's like they're all like moving together and singing. They're very synced up, but also like in a parking lot or something. Like in a winter wintry fields.
Well, this was like on the grass in front of the church, so it just like off a main road. It looked very out of place and like just uncomfortable, like to drive by.
Oh man, I think it's all so fucking bullshit. I hate it. I hate it so much. I fucking hate it. I'm so like this year just like changed who I am as a person. This past year just changed who I am as a person. I'm like so fucking angry, and I'm like. My girlfriend's always like, can you just remain compassionate? I'm like, listen, I am compassionate, but this is fucking bullshit. This is bullshit, okay?
Both things can be true at the same time.
Yeah, and no amount of compassion is going to make me not pissed off about this. You know, like, that's the reality.
Yeah.
They're going to be going to conventions and shit.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's driven me to actually join the LP.
Yeah, me too, yeah.
Where, like, before... It's actually funny, like, the way I found out about the Mises Caucus wasn't by knowing anything about the Mises Caucus. I was on Facebook, and I saw a post of someone shitting on Nick, and I was like, that's funny. And then they had a link to the Mises Caucus Facebook page, and that's, then I, like, clicked add, because I thought it was just, like, I didn't even know what Mises was. Well, like, I've heard of, like, Mises, like the person, but I didn't know what the Mises Caucus was.
Gotcha.
So I like clicked like on it, and then I got added to the Facebook page, and then I was like, can someone explain to me what the difference between the Mises Caucus is and like the regular LP?
Interesting.
And then yeah, that was it. That was what got me. It was a tweet screenshot of someone shitting on Nick Sarwark. Is why I actually became a member of the party.
So you are literally a result of his bad tweets.
Yes.
So you've become racist because of Nick Sarwark. You don't have to say yes to that.
I was trying to like make a joke without like it sounding like too much.
No. So listen, I'm gonna say it again for the record. None of these people are fucking racists. It's just this word that people are throwing around like stupid mud. And I've decided on my podcast we're gonna lean into it. We're gonna say, you call me whatever the fuck you want. Now argue with my ideas, okay? Your word, your label, your isms mean nothing to me. So that's why I'm gonna call Seth racist on this podcast. Yeah. He's a terrible person, and he hates black people.
It's not cancel culture.
It has nothing to do. No, that's not true. I'm sorry, Seth. I'm sorry.
Oh man.
It's not cancel culture. It's accountability action, and that's why I'm canceling hashtag Seth Hall today. I'm hashtag canceling Seth Hall today.
I don't think I've ever tweeted, so I don't think there will ever be a Seth Hall hashtag. Unless maybe I said some serious off-the-wall shit on this podcast and we could get one rolling, but...
I'll be the judge of that. Hashtag cancel Seth Hall for the podcast that will be released next week on my show. Tweeting it right now.
Okay.
You can carry the show for a second?
What? Yo, yeah, just carry it. Just carry your weight of your show. Yeah, I'll just keep it rolling. You know. Do you want me to start talking about pods of dolphins again? We can.
Oh, that would be
get
good.
Back. Yeah,
we should do a podcast.
We should do a podcast. Isn't that what this is?
It's a video. Well, I was thinking we just do a video of dolphins and just like show the world.
Just. Just get a bunch of dolphins with like cast nets and call it a podcast. So dolphins are fishing. I don't know. I'm trying to hold this one-sided as you tweet about canceling me, and I really don't know how to feel about that because I don't use Twitter. So I don't think you can actually get cancel Seth Hall hashtag.
I can't get it trending.
I don't think that's
trending.
possible.
I am not somebody who can get. I have 20 followers.
Yeah, well, like, and then once this plays, you'll have like 20 followers.
yeah. No, arguably fewer. Once they're not on platforming people like you and me.
Yeah.
Actually, I think all my followers are racist too. I think they're just as terrible of people as we are, which means they're fine. You're fucking fine, people.
So does that mean you have to cancel your followers?
You guys aren't allowed to watch me anymore. Shit. There goes my hopes of a career. Anybody who listens to me is racist.
By you canceling others, you've in fact canceled your own career.
I think just by, yeah. If I want to have any values, listen, I can be a bad person as long as I disavow other bad people. So what I have to do is accept my badness.
And then you can be the chair of the LP.
Oh my god. Of the world?
Of the world.
LP of the world?
LP of the
I'm
world.
pretty sure Sick Narwhak's got that S.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got it down.
S. Narwhak.
What's that guy's name? The professor from Arthur?
I don't know.
Did you ever watch Arthur?
Yeah. I just can't list off. I mean, I can get like... Yeah, I can't name off all the characters of Arthur.
Well, that's not exactly what I asked you.
Yeah, but like I don't remember the names of miscellaneous subplot characters
He's
of
a
Arthur.
teacher. He's the most useful person. I remember you.
Well, I think Arthur would be the most useful person of Arthur.
No, teachers are the most useful people in our society, and they deserve to be paid more.
Oh, wait. Get the fuck out.
Teachers deserve to be paid. What, you don't think teachers deserve to be paid more? I need.
Are we gonna go? Are we really? Oh, this could get spicy.
So okay, so I don't think.
So
I don't think teachers
no,
deserve
no,
to be
they
paid,
don't.
Period. If you really are doing something that's so good for the community that you would sacrifice your life to teach the youth, then fucking do it for free, bitch. Male or female. I'm not even saying that in a derogatory way. I just mean like.
Or dogs.
Do it for
Dogs
free.
want to teach too.
Or yeah. Listen, we need
It's
more
scientific.
teachers. We need more teachers in this society. If dogs want to do it, we should let them do it.
Yeah.
We need people with good values who value the education of the youth. I don't care if they're a dog.
And if you don't understand dog, it's because you're racist.
Well, or at least non-inclusive.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I try not to throw the racist label around. It's been used so brutally against me and my fellow racists.
You mean the Mises people?
Yeah.
Yeah. Those racists.
God, I may have said racist more on this podcast than any podcast I've ever talked about my racism on before.
We aren't just letting racism go. We're being actively racist.
I want to actually.
We're being actively anti-racist.
I want to do the right thing. I want to do the right thing.
You gotta plug it. You gotta plug it.
I want to show people I'm learning.
The sponsor of the video.
Yes. I want to show you guys. Listen, I don't want you to think that I'm just like going off on this tangent. Like I have a vendetta against people who throw very harsh words around against people that really aren't. It's not an appropriate label.
Because
for
it hurts your feelings.
Yeah, because it's trying to destroy somebody's character and then not have to discuss their ideas. I'm not trying to act like I have a vendetta. Really, what I'm trying to say here today is that I am trying to learn responsibly and do my part as a white person. This podcast is brought to you by White Fragility. Yes, by my specific fragility of whiteness. The subtitle of this book is Why It's So Hard for White People to Talk About Racism. And I'm starting to learn that it's hard because we're fragile, and I'm not fragile enough, and it should be harder for me to talk about this stuff. Because apparently the ability to just say, no, I'm not fucking racist, and you're... if I say, there's so many things you can get called racist for in this day and age. It used to be, if you wanted to be called a racist, you had to light crosses on fire and do lynchings and hate black people and like have actual prejudice. That was like a thing. Now it's like you didn't put a black Instagram square up, or you're like, we shouldn't burn down buildings after fucking a black dude gets killed by the police. Like, okay, now you're a racist if you question the mobs in the streets who do fucked up shit in the name of justice. No, you're not racist. That's not what that means. So I'm learning about my fragility, and I'm learning about why it's so hard for. Yeah, no, the subtitle doesn't add up. I don't get it. I don't know, but I got the book. I gave the lady the money. She's making millions, and she's white, and she's teaching white people how to be less racist. So hopefully, if I can get through this book that just seems to obfuscate simple concepts that we understood when we were children, I'll understand better why everybody thinks that, like, it's racist to have, like an old cartoon of fucking an Asian dude in your book, but you can publish Mein Kampf. Like, the people who... There's literally... I don't... What was it? Random House? I don't know what publisher it was.
Yeah.
They're literally...
Or
they're
Penguin
canceling...
House, right? Penguin?
Maybe it was Penguin,
Yeah.
yeah. But they stopped publishing, like, a certain set of Dr. Seuss books. They're still publishing Mein Kampf.
Yeah. And the Communist Manifesto.
Now, how many deaths were the fucking communist and socialist regimes of Russia and Nazi Germany responsible for?
And then add up Cambodia and China and...
All I'm saying is racism is responsible for less deaths.
Yeah.
Shit, I'm so good at painting things in a bad light.
Yeah,
It's really bad.
that's a...
No, what I'm saying...
But that's the point of the Mises Caucus. Socialism is definitely worse than racism, and there's going to be a debate on that, isn't there?
Actually, that is a really good point.
That's pretty much the base... I mean, it's... What's the exact verbiage of the debate?
Which one?
The Libertarian Party will benefit from...
So listen, let me look that up. So on the
because
free
basically
speech,
what it comes down to is what's worse, socialism or racism, is
Right.
really what the basis of that question should be.
right?
And just look at what killed more. Actually, I don't know if you could do that because
It's really hard. To add
over the
that
course
all
of
up.
history, there's been a lot of racism that's been killing a lot of people. There's been quite a few genocides. Not
Yeah.
all socialism, but
Yeah,
currently, I don't know.
yeah, this is gonna age very badly.
Yeah.
Especially like 2,000 more years. Imagine the racism that's yet to come after the Mises Caucus takes over.
2000. Dude, next year, the whole country is going to be burned down. So,
Well, yeah, I don't know. I feel like we get closer and closer to that. Like if Derek Chauvin gets off, you know who's not getting off? That guy who shot up the Asian massage parlor. There's no happy endings in that story.
Yeah, that was bad.
That's too many good jokes in one tragic accident.
Yeah, it's actually pretty fucked up what he did.
It's definitely fucked. Killing people is wrong. It's super fucked up what he did.
Yeah.
That was a solid joke. I said, you know who's
I give
not
it a
getting
solid.
off.
I give it a solid 6.5.
Seven.
Seven.
Okay, come on. You know who's not
Definitely
getting...
not a dad joke. If you were wondering what's a dad joke, what's not, that is not a dad
People
joke.
think I just make dad jokes. I'm like, no, I make terrible, offensive jokes too. Like, I'm multi-talented. Yeah, you know who's not getting off is the guy who shot up that Asian massage parlor. There's no happy ending in the story. Happy ending, getting off. That's clever.
Ooh. Yeah, he's not getting off scot free or.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, that's not gonna age well at all.
No.
No.
But when Kobe Bryant died, the day afterwards, I was going to an open mic and I was like, what was it? Like, what did the pilot say when he's trying to crash land his helicopter? Kobe! And the whole room was just like, ooh.
Yeah, that's
Big groans. Big groans.
Yeah, the
But
grumblies.
The big groan, like, the day after is a big laugh a month later.
Yeah,
So I'm okay with it. You just,
But
just be on top
But
of
the
the joke.
immediate laughs are going to be groans a bit later when they don't age too well. Like this podcast. Funny now.
Funny now. A lot of people are going to hate me for it.
Yeah.
Yep.
When our houses get burned down to the ground later.
Yeah.
Be an issue.
No, but I'm going to say this.
But then
like,
that'll be a funny joke a couple weeks later.
you can make all the terrible accusations about people that are unbased in their character and in the way they've treated anybody. They can be based off of jokes or ridiculous claims they've made on a podcast called Don't Quote Me on This. You can make those claims about somebody. Or you can be like, this guy...
The name makes it all okay. Because it says don't quote me on it, you legally can't quote me on this. So it's good, right? That's how it works.
I'm working on it.
Okay.
I'm working on getting that law passed.
getting a lot back. Let me know. I'll read it for you.
yeah. It'll be one page, but you just really
Yeah.
right. But what I'm gonna say is like, let's say, and I think you're a fucking fine individual. I would rather have somebody who's like doesn't trust somebody based off of like if they came from the wrong country or something. Like I don't trust you as much. Who's actually like honest and upfront and does this than somebody who's gonna lie to you and fucking. It's like I just rather like if you're gonna be a scumbag,
Be upfront about it.
I would much rather you be an upfront scumbag.
Yeah. I'd rather know what you're going to be a scumbag about and work around that, and then we can find other ground to be on the same page on, versus then you get like Bitey Boy, Sleepy Joe that's like, I'm not a scumbag, and then elected, and then all those people that thought he was going to do whatever aren't getting that done.
Yeah, I think that I would rather have somebody who has a bias and is open about it than have somebody who is fucking biased,
fake but secretly
biased and trying to sell you that they're not. I just think that's a better beast to work with than like a sneaky rat lurking in the shadows, like trying to hide and fucking. I don't know. Also, I think with that debate, my thought on this, I wrote this long thing out earlier about that debate. I was like, I feel like it's a pretty easy debate to make. It's like the authoritarians are reaching out every single day to every man, woman, and child across the globe and selling them on the idea that we should be allowed to control each other's lives. If there's somebody who's racist or bigoted who
helps one step closer to not being under an authoritarian, it's a win. Like
beyond that, even let's say if somebody's racist, they judge somebody, they view somebody as less because of the color of their skin, or inhuman because of the color of their skin, and they're bigoted or whatever. If that person believes in self-ownership and non-aggression, that's a better kind of a racist than an authoritarian racist. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I would much rather that person.
I'd rather have someone that, someone that's racist that just wants to be left alone is 100% better than someone that's secretly racist but wants to control the other race or whatever.
Very well put.
Every time.
Very well put.
10 times that, like, the racist that stays in their basement and doesn't come out and doesn't want to interact with anyone, I'd rather be on that guy's side than the guy that's secretly racist but pretending that they're not, that's in control of, every cop in America and is enforcing his secret racist wills on those people.
I also
by the power of the state. Like,
you're never gonna like, if there's a number of racists in the world that are spreading their racism, you're never gonna convince. It's like they can only grow. We can't talk to any of them. We can't talk any of them out of it. They can only grow. It's like a cancer that we just have to let grow outside there. Like, no, you have to convince people. You have to sell people out of bad ideas. Like, if they're getting sold on a bad idea, sell them a fucking better one. Yeah. What is it that's pulling them in that direction? If it's so wrong, it should be fairly easy to show them. Not only that, there's going to be certain people that are hopeless cases. Sure. And it's not a fight for everybody. Yeah. Sure. I just think that the idea that we just have to just disassociate, it's like we're going to put a cancer out there and let them sell their ideas to people. Let authoritarians sell their system to those people. And then
they take that authoritarian system and then implement their... Because, like, you can... I legitimately think if you're racist and... Like, I don't think that's a good thing.
I think it's a sign of low IQ. I think you're probably stupid.
But if you're...
Or thoughtless, at least.
A racist who is against authoritarianism, you're at the same time, you'd be in your head an asshole, but you aren't imposing it on anyone. You know what I mean? And like I said, like the dude that's racist in his basement isn't hurting anyone by his racism, unless he is, and then he's an asshole. But like the guy that's using the power of the state to implement his racism, that's the guy I got a problem with. You know what I mean?
I agree, and I also think that it's like if there's somebody who is prejudiced, who is a non-violent member of society, that's a better person than somebody who's not prejudiced, who's robbing grandmas. Like, I just if we're gonna do an objective moral comparison, I would rather somebody's like, I don't trust that guy. He's too brown for me. I'm like, well, that's a stupid way to judge somebody. But you're not hurting anybody. And then like, or there's a guy who's like, I think everybody's equal, but I rob grandmas in my free time. Like, no, you're a fucking scumbag. Yeah. I don't, and like,
in my opinion, you're more of the scumbag than the guy that's like, I don't like black people as they're gardening. You know what I mean? Like the guy that's like, yeah, just ranting on my racist things to my posies, you know what I mean?
Like that doesn't make that guy a good person. It's just like we have real problems in this life besides somebody having a thought that you don't like. Like, oh, you think a bad person about somebody who might not be bad. It's like, okay, well that happens all the time.
Yeah, I think the issue is that people don't understand there's a difference between thought and action. And if you have a bad thought...
How do you not understand that?
But, like, they don't. Because people think that, like, if you have prejudiced thought...
It's a violation of the non-aggression principle, according to Archie Flowers.
Jesus fucking Christ. But if you, like...
You saw that, right?
Yeah. But if you...
By the way, he will be in this debate coming up that we're talking about. That guy will be in it.
But at the end, I would rather someone hate me that's not doing anything against me than someone that's actively doing something against me that's like, but you're a good guy, but I'm still beating the shit out of you.
Like the state?
Yeah. No, they're a bad guy and they're beating the shit out of us.
I mean, the state will tell you you're a good guy and beat the shit out of you. Like Joe Biden will be like, the American people are good people. We have to look out for them. And also be like, we're going to raise taxes and print more money.
Yeah.
Which is just like literally just beating the shit out of you. There's no...
We're going to raise taxes and tax the money you've saved by raising inflation.
Yeah.
Man.
It's crazy, man. It's fucking crazy.
But the thing is, too, is like people, like, one thing that I've been, like, really kind of, like, going deep on is, like, people that are, like, paranoid about conspiracy theories. And they're, like, they're hiding all this shit. They're doing all this sketchy shit behind the scenes. It's all, like, under, like, the black. And I'm like, if you think that's crazy, wait till you actually see what they publish on their website. The shit that nobody fucking reads, that they're doing way out in the open. There's a new bill, HR 1. It's like...
I heard about this.
Yeah.
It's the For the People Act?
Yes.
I gotta get a beer for this.
Okay.
I gotta get a beer for this. I'm not ready for this. Talk to the camera if you
Talk
can.
to the camera?
You can kill some dead air.
Okay, I'll kill some
people
dead
how much of a scumbag I am if you want. I don't care.
Hey, so yeah, I'm invited on Bill's podcast, and he just gets up and leaves me alone on his podcast to carry the weight for him as he goes and gets more beer. And yeah, that's what's going on right now. But back onto this HR 1, which is the For the People Act. And like the thing about it with all these bills, right, is everyone that you see that's spreading it around, like you'll see it on Facebook, like this bill has this, and this. Well, they're like little bullet points of what's actually in the bill. And it's not in any detail. It's not giving any sort of like background on what they're even talking about.
Not the wording even. It's just like this is the premise.
Yeah, like for HR 1, the For the People Act, you see all the stuff like increases ballot access, increases all this shit, right? And I'm like, oh, it's gonna like increase ballot act, like voting at like the ability for like, because that's like always the big thing for the LP, right? Like ballot access, like we can't get our people elected, right?
Yeah, they mean for individuals, not for parties.
Yeah.
Like,
and
more
then
people can
beyond
vote,
that,
but it's harder for more parties to get out there.
Beyond that, this ballot access, right? Because I haven't read the full thing. I think it's 790 pages. I'm only like 483 pages into this.
How long does that take you?
A minute. I mean, it's not as long as you would think, because like the way bills are written, it's not like it's like a book, right? So like one page is like sectioned off.
Yeah,
and like
bullet points,
and then
gets
spaced
narrower,
out.
and each time you get indented, it gets narrower.
Yeah, so it's not like reading a book page or
but
whatever.
Still a lot.
But it's still a lot.
And it's legalese. It's not easy. It's not light reading.
Yeah,
it
takes
bullshit.
a hot minute.
They're weaving words to confuse you. But you're saying it's you're 483. It's 700 something pages long.
Yeah, I think it's like 791 or something like that.
But you were talking about ballot access. I derailed you by asking that question.
So like you'll see like a meme, not even like a meme, but like a picture on like Facebook, like, oh, this is what's in the bill. You know what I mean? But then when you get into it, that's a pretty legalese way to narrow it. To say it's fucking ballot access. You know what I mean? Because, like, for instance, one of the ballot access things in the bill is giving money to colleges and high schools to register voters and
I heard about this.
Yeah, so they're like gonna give money to a high school because they want students to be able to be registered before they're even eligible to vote, paid for by registering all students at high schools.
I had to pay to register to vote.
Really?
I believe so.
You shouldn't have.
Maybe not.
Probably not.
Don't quote me.
Yeah, no, that I'm pretty sure that's illegal. Like, been illegal for a while.
Well, it should have been. It shouldn't have been.
Yeah.
You should have to pay to register to vote.
You should?
Yeah, absolutely.
Voting
should be as hard as possible. I don't want anybody voting. I think nobody should vote. I think we should be $2 billion so nobody gets to vote.
You have to be a white male landowner?
No, I think
because that used to be it.
I think it should be $2 billion, maybe $2 trillion.
But
nobody, my roads are not up to a vote. My rights are not up to a vote. That's the premise of voting. We're going to vote on what rights you get. What are you, not an anarchist?
No, I'm not.
Oh, get out of my house.
I mean, like, yeah, no, I'm not.
Do you believe in democracy? The sacred power of democracy?
So I believe, like, I'm not an ANCAP, right? So, like, I do, like, I believe there should be a very, very narrow, limited, very much limited government. You know, like, it should only be there for, like, because, I mean, like, I don't want to go too off topic. I want to get back to that voting bill.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
I mean, like, someone to settle contracts between two people, settle interstate conflict, and then, like, maybe the defense of the country.
Defense of the country, I'll kind of get you.
Like, the reason I say, like, settle contracts is, like, at the end of the day, like...
Yeah, but they have a monopoly on settling contracts.
They do. But also, here's my other thing, like, the monopoly on violence. I don't know how to say this without completely pissing off every Mises person that ever fucking existed, you know what I mean? But, like, at the same time, I'm not kind of hoping that more people have access to violence against me. You know what I mean? Like,
right, I get you. Well, you believe in a smaller government. It's like, it's nothing. Yeah, you're not going to get people pissed off. They're just going to disagree with you, and then we're going to spend a lot of time trying to persuade you that you're wrong.
And then, because, like, that's how, like, I kind of got into, like, libertarian. Like, I was kind of, like, a righty, and then, like, I kind of, like, deep dove into ANCAP, and then, like, I was kind of like, you know, like, here I am swimming in these waters, and then, like, because it was really, like, getting a whole bunch of, like, actual, like, socialists arguing against me, and I realized, like, a lot of these arguments for ANCAP are very much the same arguments for commies. Like...
Well, but you could have communism exist within an ANCAP society, and that would be fine.
I'm just... The argument for pro-ANCAP is quite often the pro-socialist arguments.
There's a lot of room for overlap.
There's a lot of overlap.
There's a lot of room for overlap because it's voluntary. If you can have voluntary socialism, I'm with it.
But like,
as soon as it becomes involuntary, I'm like, So ANCAP is just like, you know, it's literally, we have no rulers. You can absolutely go engage in a socialist or communist community if you want to.
But then you say no rulers, but then, you know, like, Jeff Bezos is sitting there on his fucking, like, Amazon package throne, like...
Dude, but listen, Jeff Bezos will never and would never, he wouldn't have as much power as he did right now if it wasn't for the federal government. And he will never accumulate as much power as the federal government has. So even if Jeff Bezos was the biggest, most powerful guy ever under that system, it would never be as big as Jeff Bezos probably is now, because he only got that big with the federal government, which is the biggest beast, and the federal government would never have been that big. So I'm like, that's a better system, even if it is like,
right.
Jeff
So
Bezos
that's my thing though, right? Because it's not like, well, if the government wasn't there, Jeff Bezos wouldn't have all that money. It's like, well, if you get rid of the government now, Jeff Bezos still has all that money. You know what I mean? And then, like, you know what I mean? Because we gotta look at it as
there's
the world
order,
we live in
there's an order
versus
of
the
operations.
perfect world. Is the argument that I'm
order
getting
of
at.
operations. I think the first thing we have to do is get people to keep more of their money, and then force the government to spend less money. Because here's the deal: we have a problem right now where the government spends more money than they even bring in.
Oh yeah.
Like their revenue that they bring in through
That's what I'm
taxation
saying. Like,
is record high, and it doesn't even remotely cover the cost of what they're spending. So the first thing we have to do is give people more of their money, because then we have more self-ownership and more of that. They can still manipulate the money. They have. I think that this is something important. You probably heard me say this at the very first Mises Caucus meetup for New Hampshire. We need to have a documentary go out there. The monopoly on violence is great. People don't understand how much, like, what's affecting your life even more than the government's monopoly on violence is their monopoly on money. Every single person power as the federal government has in this country, even if the government's monopoly on money. Meetup for New Hampshire, and they need to have a documentary supply. Monopoly and we can easily make a video. People don't understand easily make a documentary. How much, like, what's affecting your life more than the government's monopoly on violence is their video of the monopoly on money, because it's almost like a worse thing. But if we could keep our money, put it in assets, we are the work. Like the communist thing of the worker-owned means of production is like the workers are the means of production. We own ourselves. Yeah. So I fully kind of understand the premise of that is where you take that.
And that's what I mean. Like, I'm gonna be on the ANCAP fucking train all the way down, and then, like, I'll jump off the last minute. I'm like, whoa,
that's
you know, but like, we have a long, long way to go.
Oh yeah.
So I'm riding the ANCAP train until we get to my stop. You know what I mean?
That's fair. That's fair. And then you can be a
probably won't even be in my lifetime.
Listen, you can serve some laws. You know, like just the opposite of what a conservative is now.
It's funny because, like, when Dennis was on, he was talking like, because Dennis came from being a lefty, and he's like, libertarian is kind of how I got, because when you get to the ends of the means, like, total liberty is, like, being totally liberal would be libertarian. And I think, like, same with on the right. Like,
I tend to agree.
We're like, you know, like,
we're the real
I used to be Republican because I believed in small government and, like, not in free markets and stuff like that. And then that's not what the Republican Party is. So, like, if you truly believe in the left or the right, you kind of have to come together and be the libertarian. Because, like, either you have to have complete, like, the lefties, we all have self-ownership, and the righties, like, stop fucking with our economy. And, like, neither side actually believes in either one of those things. You know what I mean?
Correct.
Like,
well, and ultimately, though, both of those sides. And Dennis, I love Dennis. He's so radical. I love it. He's like not afraid. Like, they're psychopaths. They're all psychopaths.
Yeah, they are. I mean,
he's like, and they have the psychopathic mindset that they want to control you and have you slave for them, so that they can have their means and their order of society imposed upon you and imposed upon everybody else. It's like, and libertarians don't want that. It's like, and I've been trying to pitch to. I'm talking about Pork Fest. I've been talking to people in my life about Pork Fest. I'm trying to learn how to pitch Pork Fest to somebody.
Dude, I'm pumped about it.
I'm super stoked.
Like, my wife is not super libertarian or anything like that. She's like, yeah, I'll go to Pork Fest. Let's do it.
We'll line her up with my girlfriend. It'll be a blast.
And then I got another buddy that's a free stater. Him and his wife are going to Pork Fest. Like,
good stuff.
I've been pitching it. I'm trying to get people. I'm
trying
to pitch the Mises Caucus too.
Yeah.
If you know me, and you're thinking about join the fucking Mises Caucus.
Join the Mises Caucus. If you listen, my pitch right now is
if you want to be on the NSA cool kid list, join the Mises Caucus.
When you, it's true. It's fast track. It's a fast track. It's like
it's like writing your own name on the NSA watch list.
You can sign up for the NSA watch list by joining the Mises Caucus.
TakeYouBack.org.
Nick Stonework just adds a clipboard at his desk, looks down his long nose at us. What was I saying? Oh, so I'm trying to pitch Pork Fest. Basically, I'm trying to pitch the Libertarian Party. Or not even the Libertarian Party. I don't like the Libertarian Party. I'm trying to pick the Mises Caucus. And my thing right now
it's better than the LP.
It's better than the LP. Also, when you say
I only joined the LP because the Mises Caucus shits on the LP and wants to take it over. That is the only reason I ever became a member of the LP. I was like, And I think most libertarian-minded people hate the LP.
Around here they do.
Like, not like, I mean, like, even in like I've only been in New Hampshire now since October. I was in North Carolina.
Oh, no shit.
And, like, tons of people in the military are libertarian. Like, little L libertarian. But fucking hate the LP.
Yeah.
Like,
well, it's right, because it's a if there's a fucking mask mandate in New Hampshire and nobody listens and nobody enforces it, there's no mask mandate. The law is what's enforced. I don't remember who said that, but like that's the reality of it. And so like if ultimately we need the community, I'm much more about the cultural side of it than the LP side of it. I'm only in the LP because of the Mises Caucus.
Yeah, same.
I'm only in the LP because, and I'm like, well, let's get a chair in there. Let's at least get a hold of the Twitter account because like we can fight the cultural battle with more leverage from these platforms.
Yeah.
Apart from that, I really don't care about the laws. Like, yeah, let's roll back laws. Also, I'm not going to spend my time on laws the way you do. I love that you do that. I think it's good because they're passing fucked up shit, and it's nice to know what the fucked up shit in there that's going to affect my life.
Oh,
you know,
we can go back to that.
We'll
do the press secretary. Let's circle back to it. So now, circling back for the first time since Biden's been elected.
Yeah.
Fucking. This is HR 1. So one of the things, like the ballot access.
It's a good 20-minute tangent.
Yeah. We took that Biden train off on the. Yeah, on.
It is a train. He's on the train.
I know. But hey, clean energy. Fucking so HR
train.
HR 1.
It's a toy train. Frio.
He's got the hat. He's going woo himself. Okay, Joe. But like, so ballot access. One of the things which, once I started reading some of these bills, I also realized they're pitching it. They're setting themselves up in these bills for what they're gonna like the next idea after it's already out.
Yeah.
So like hidden in
with language.
Right, so like hidden in the HR 1 is like getting high school kids registered to vote even though they're not currently eligible, right? So like younger kids, that way the day they turn 18, they've been registered to vote for a year, right?
That way there's no lapse. That way
there's no immediately, yeah.
We don't care how interested you've been or what your awareness is.
Or what you know about,
No, none of that
Let's
matters.
get you going.
Let's get you
paid for by the state.
We'll tell you what box to fill it in and you'll be good.
Yeah. And then
the state telling people to vote
is comical.
The longer I live, the more I'm like, that's kind of creepy. The state telling you like to vote, and then like there's a specific group of people within the state pushing the idea that the state should tell you to vote. They're probably going to be pushing that you should be voting for them because they're the ones who gave you the ability to vote in the first place. Yeah. It's a very insidious, it's like, wait, this is like a sneaky way of people who are running the show convincing more people to say that they should keep running the show.
Oh, yeah.
More younger, broader audiences.
So then, get this. So, like, that's in this bill. The funding for all that, to get it into high schools and stuff like that. So after and that is not on any, like, synopsis or outline of the bill that I've seen, right? Okay. That's, like, something that I've found, like, I mean, it's been mentioned, but, like, how deep in depth, and not just that, also colleges and, like, a whole bunch of other stuff, right? And then, like, a week or two later, they start talking about, like, there's only a few, but, like, there's a couple Democrat Congress people that are dropping, like, what if we lower the voting age to 16 now?
Yeah, and they're
but they laid out the foreground of having that in that bill. You know what I mean? So that way they're already set up. They already got the funding for putting it in a high school and then immediately getting those votes. You know what I mean? So they're like, you realize how like they already have that plan, and they've laid out groundwork in 2 or 3 previous bills, which was also in that stimulus bill was younger voter education, which I'd love to hear what that fucking actually is. You know what I mean?
Vote blue no matter who.
Yeah, exactly.
Or red. Actually, vote blue or red no matter who.
Yeah.
Really, they don't
But
care.
then, like, other things that are in HR 1 is banning voting ID, which is a state's issue.
It's so crazy.
But it pretty much ban it, and it bans any identification for voting more than the last 4 digits of a social.
Wow.
That's it. That's the only thing that they can use.
But that's
to
not
identify.
even what they usually use.
I know.
So you can't. So you can use that, or you can use an ID, but like they don't have.
No. Like you don't.
That's all you're allowed to use. That's the only.
Yeah.
So let me
requirement. I don't like.
Well, let me ask you this: would they then revert over from a voting ID requirement? Like you have to bring your social in. Like how do you? It seems
no,
like
you just need to identify your last 4 numbers.
You just literally just. But the problem is that you can then write down 4 numbers, vote. They don't have.
They
a
have
list
to
of
match your name.
They do have to do that.
Yeah.
Well, that's at least something.
Yeah.
But now, aren't they giving social security numbers out to people who aren't citizens?
No.
No, not yet.
No.
That's probably the next bill.
Yeah, probably. You know what I mean? Like, and then
that's how you win the 20-40 year game.
Yeah, they're definitely on the long game. I'm trying to think of like what some of the other crazy shit. And then I mean, don't get me wrong.
Who's the strategist? Who's the long-term strategist on their side? I'm very curious because they're killing it.
I don't think you'll ever know their name.
But like the long-term strategist on the Republican side is not killing it.
No.
Whoever they're doing.
No,
like,
JV. That dude needs to get fired.
JV? Oh, you know who it is?
No, like junior varsity. Like
oh,
the dude
I see,
is not.
Yeah, he's not doing good.
Yeah.
And they probably have cycled through a few, and none of them are doing good.
And there's definitely no long game for the LP. There is zero strategy.
There is now. You know what it is? Convince regular people that they can be more free.
Yeah. Well, as long as...
And not this weird, like, we don't want to offend anybody who might be a political... Because you know who they're trying not to offend? Is fucking, like...
fair weather Democrats and fair weather Republicans that'll be on for 6 months, and then the second the election is over, they're off back into their own camp.
I was going to say the Liz Warrens and the Mitt Romneys, but also it's really their supporters.
Yeah.
But so it's the same crowd.
Yeah.
It's like those are the people you don't want to offend. I'm like, those aren't the people you're going to win over. Get the people you're going to win over, and then the bigger you get, the more people are. It's like gravity. You know, like the more people will like be sucked in. Like, wait, why are so many people liking that thing? Like,
I think the Mises Caucus is one. They have the best recruiting for sure right now.
Why is that?
I think it's because they're attracting people like the way I think. Like, I'm not an ANCAP, but I'll roll with the ANCAPs until we get the size of the government way, 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 way down. You know what I mean? Like, and I think that that message is kind of resonated. And then you're also getting, I think, you know, like, once you go so far over, you're kind of appealing to the other side as well.
What made you think that you could, as a regular dude, do something like? Because I was a Ron Paul guy. Before that, I was like actually an Obama guy. I was raised super conservative, like more Catholic than almost anybody is raised.
Yeah.
But I got into the I haven't registered to vote since 2012. Maybe 2016. Like the last time I voted for president was for Ron Paul. And then in 2016, I was going to vote for Ron Paul again. I was going to go to the polls just to write Ron Paul's name in. Yeah. And then the line was long. I was like, well, I'm not voting for any of these idiots. I'm literally going in there to write Ron Paul's name on.
In 2016, I was pretty Trumpy.
Were you?
Because I think, like...
I just thought...
I was like, there's a chance that this is going to work out. And then immediately was like, all right, that did not work out. Like, we are going downhill quick on this hill. Like...
Yeah. He's a doofus, you know? He's a doofus.
Yeah. Well, I think he kind of came in with, like, the intention, like, I'm going to knock this out of the fucking park. You know what I mean? Like, kind of like... I think he came in, like...
He doesn't do his homework.
I think he came in like Michael Jordan going into baseball. Like, I'm the shit at basketball. Here I am, and I'm going to fucking kill baseball, too. And he got in and realized, I am not okay with this. This is not my game. I am not doing all right.
I just think he doesn't do his homework.
No.
Maybe he could have been good if he'd done his homework, but he didn't. He didn't pick good advisors. He didn't do like research on policies. I don't think he was watching the right news shows, listening to the right people as far as what's going on in the world. And I also know that he cared to be informed. So for me, between Trump and Hillary, I was like, well, if I ever have grandkids, not that I'm planning on having grandkids at this point in my life, if I ever have grandkids, fucking, I want to be able to tell them, like, I didn't vote for either of those two idiots. Like, because that election's going down in history.
I think the thing
I could tell that.
Yeah.
Before Russian interference, I could tell the election was going down in history.
I think also he came in thinking he could run it as a business, and not realizing that there's a level of bureaucratic bullshit so fucking long that in order to get anything done, it's gonna pass through 97,000 fucking hands, and then come back. You can't do it. Like,
I also think he didn't actually have as much balls as people wanted him to. Where he's like ballsy with his words, but a lot less ballsy with his actions. It's like, because there were things he could have done, but
like
honestly,
stimulus bill is the epitome of Trump. Like, I'm not gonna sign it. It's full of bullshit. Or like it goes up and everyone's like, whoa, this is full of some bullshit, and that's me reading it because like before it got passed, I'm like, and another thing, this fucking bullshit is going to this, and this motherfucker is going to that, and then like Trump's like, I'm not gonna sign it. It's full of bullshit, and then I'm like, oh, thank God I can stop at page 900. It's like, fuck. This is 9,000 fucking pages long. I'm good now.
How do you do that? Do you pick like a couple hours per day or something? Like, what is your strategy on doing that?
No, I go through like psycho self-hate and just fucking dive on it until I get so angry that I need to stop, and that's really the yeah. Like if I continued on, I'd have a heart attack from just like rage. And then people like you in office. I don't think so, actually. I think that I'm not the one to be in office. I don't know.
That's perfect. No, that's what we need. Listen,
I think what I would love to see is someone. We need a libertarian that is blind to file a discrimination lawsuit against Congress. That way, they have to read and have like the audio version of every bill that they put. Because I can't sit there and read while driving around or anything. But if there was a blind libertarian that had some balls and made it so that congressmen had to be the ones to read it and upload the recording of them reading the bills that they fucking pass.
You are one smart motherfucker.
And hit it with
my eyes out live on air, guys.
And hit it with the ADA fucking lawsuit of discrimination. Because I don't.
Especially,
I mean, it's not like they're printing every bill in Braille, right? That anyone can go and get. So if they had it where there needed to be an audio version and they needed to sit there and fucking read it.
And it's like, well, this is going to take a week. Yeah. Non-stop.
Oh, yeah.
It's like we can look at it in actual time. Actually, they even have to have somebody sit down and record it.
Yep. They got to do sound checks. They got to fucking do it. And then there would be a literal digital audiobook version of every bill.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Because you can't say ignorance is no excuse for not knowing the law if you can't have access to it.
And we have access to, this is one of the greatest, dude, this is one of the best ideas I've heard in a long fucking time.
And on top of that, these fuckers don't work, 7-8 months of the year? They only work for a couple months at a time.
Don't get me started, bro.
Just have them sit there and just fucking, you know what, Pelosi? Shut the fuck up. Sit there and read your book, all right?
Like, we'll put them in classrooms. We'll put them in classrooms, 30 of them, and I'll play the audiobook in front of class. Like, and then we'll test them at the end.
That'd be great.
How funny would that be, dude?
I think they should be the ones that have to read it and record it. Not a lackey. That way you actually know there is a congressman that has read the bill.
Yeah, they have to read it out loud.
Yeah, they have to be the one who recorded.
If you support it, you have to read it out loud. Every congressman. We need 50 record.
I don't know about that. But like at least one.
It's more like 500.
If there's at least one that's more than there currently is. That is 100% increase of who currently reads the bill in Congress.
That's a really great idea.
But if you were blind, like I can't do it. I'm not blind, right? So I couldn't be able to
fix that.
I'm not going blind either.
Fix.
But if there's like a cool, if the Mises, if there's anyone in the Mises,
Nolan's getting elected tomorrow. We'll blind him.
We'll blind Nolan.
We'll blind.
I like Nolan. I don't want him to not. I don't think anyone voluntarily wants to be blind.
Here's
But there's got to be one. There's got to be one libertarian that's blind. Demographically.
Can I make a point?
Yeah.
You don't want to read hours and hours of bills, but you do it because you believe it's good for you and good for your country. Nolan may not want to be blind. You're right.
It's for the best, Nolan.
But it's for everybody.
I'm sorry.
Like you need somebody who's blind. We need a blind guy, and we need him bad.
It doesn't even have to be a libertarian. If there's any, if anyone knows a blind person that has some money that wants to create a Supreme Court challenge, that'd be cool.
And also, every citizen could listen to that.
Mm-hmm.
And then we could pass
Would it
a
have
law.
to be public record?
The next law we could pass would be like there has to be enough time for you to listen to it between when it fucking comes out and when you pass
There's not
it.
a law that you have to have enough time to read it.
I know.
At all.
I know. But so
like,
we could have it read and then be like, well, it takes this long.
But what it would do is, yes, there would have to be enough time that they could record it after it being released.
Because literally, if it took longer to read the bill and to play the audiobook than it did between the time of it
release and voting,
vote,
no one read it.
How corrupted? Yeah. So this is one of the best ideas I've heard in a really long time.
I've been thinking about this for a while, and like I'm like, how is this not a?
It's so obvious. I mean, here's the flip side. You hear people talk about
because especially now we have like the technology. Like it's not like a couple years ago or like
10 years ago.
10 years.
10 years.
We're
ago.
like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna have to mail out CDs. You know what I mean? Like we can stream it. It's
right.
It costs.
And
the
data,
setup ain't that much. You know what I mean?
Storage is super cheap. So you know who we should talk to about this? And I don't know fucking what he'll say, but I just know he's worked actually getting legislature passed in Maine next
Well, I
door.
don't think you'd have to. I don't think the way to do it would be through like legislature.
Well, we'll need to have to write up a bill.
The courts would be the easier way to do it because it's discrimination against blind people. So
Yeah,
then it'd be mandated by a court, and you wouldn't have to like have it go through a lobby and then a committee and then voted on and then the House and then the Senate. If it was required via American Disabilities Act lawsuit. Once it goes to court and the judge says it has to be done, it has to be done.
I totally agree with you. I just think there's also like there's something where you, and I believe this, if you want to solve a problem, come with a solution.
Well, the solution is that they do the audio.
I agree. However, we should provide a format for them, and there's going to be a legalese version of that. And there's a guy I know who has written some legalese. Yeah. That's all I'm saying. So there's like there's like because like I totally agree with you. This is anything I've said here is not to say that you're wrong or that it's. I just think there's a guy that we could talk to who might have even input because he's actually gotten legislature passed. I've never done anything like that. And he'll be there tomorrow.
To me, that's common sense. Like
it's
not.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant.
It's not anything that's that difficult. It's not that hard. You mean even if you wanted to have it, there's 100 senators. If you have each one read 10 pages of the bill, right? Yeah. And then they stitch together those, 100. That's 1,000 pages knocked out.
Yeah.
For audio, like in an audiobook that anyone in America can listen to immediately.
And then there's been time for each of them to read it, and there's been time from the time that audio's been released to the time that they vote on it for the American people to hear it. Yeah. That's just a great system. I 1,000% agree. We gotta push it. We gotta push that. Yeah. That's like a better idea than my best idea in my life, which is the Monopoly on Money documentary.
And then because the other reason I'm thinking about it is like, what really was obviously the biggest bill I've ever tried to take a full bite out of was that stimulus bill. I mean, it was 9,981 pages.
Jesus Christ.
And after 930 something pages.
10%.
Yeah. But I ran into a problem at that point, and on top of that, I was about ready to shit with my laptop across the room, and Trump said he wasn't gonna sign it, which then a week later he did. But hence why, yeah.
Yeah.
But after the 900-page mark, the Congress.gov website loading that document would crash.
So they're not even hosting it well enough.
Yeah. Because when you I don't know if it's it wasn't just my laptop sucking. You know what I mean? It was I couldn't do it on my phone.
Right.
Because you'd have to sit and wait 20 minutes. Support
the government
10,000 page document.
The government website can't support the PDF that they have to upload.
The sheer size.
For a bill.
Yeah.
That's pathetic. What fucking society we live in, dude? Yeah. I don't know. Listen, and there's so many people out there who are oh, we have to pass more laws. We have to pass 10,000 pages of laws multiple times per year? Really? Yeah. Really, we have to pass 10,000 pages of law.
So, there's no one that read that. There's no one.
Not only
even the creators of that bill.
only parts.
Only parts, because it's this
Which
committee
means-
makes this amount.
which
This
means-
guy's team's aide fucking secretary wrote this part.
But what does that tell you? That tells you that those people constructed their interests.
Yeah.
Put them in a bill. Nobody read it,
No.
and it got passed.
Yeah.
Just people with interests, people with agendas, and it's like not based on the merit. It's like, well, do we feel like we have to do a thing to make it look like we're being good for America, or do we feel like we have to not do the thing because that might look like we're being good for America because we don't know if it's good? It's like we have to do it because then we're doing something for America. And it's like you're fucking passing a whole bunch of random sketchy people's agendas.
Dude,
That's what you're doing. You're signing off on some shit you didn't read by some people you probably know who maybe have some good intentions,
Dude,
maybe
there
some
was
bad
an
intentions,
entire part of that
but they have
bill,
their own best interests in mind.
like shit
in
that
1,000
just
different ways.
like I couldn't comprehend. There was an entire part of that stimulus bill giving money to Native American judges for education on special interest types of sexual assault legislation.
How much money?
It was like millions. But like what does that mean? Like what is that? You know what I mean? Like do
Yeah.
like talk about the most specific random weird shit to be funded in a COVID relief bill. You know what I mean? Like what?
I think it's a sad reality we live in where we have the most laws, the most taxes, the most fucking regulations and restrictions and oversight of everything. We have a record homeless population. People are having a record number of their dollars taken out of their pockets before they receive them. They're printing a record number of dollars. The government giving out a record number of money while taking a record number of money. How is this possible?
And printing, which is a tax on those that save money because you're depreciating the value of their money.
And then Joe Biden's going on a tour, a national tour, to sell people on the idea. You saw this yesterday. To sell people on the idea that government can solve problems because he has to do a PR tour for the government. I don't think that guy
by train, like because apparently
is he really doing it by train?
Yeah.
I thought that was a joke.
I'm pretty sure he is.
That's hilarious. I didn't know. I thought that was a joke.
It's probably because Warren Buffett owns all the trains and gave a bunch of money to Joe's campaign.
That's so weird. But just the fact that and I said this on the podcast before. It's like the mask is off. The mask is off. They have to tell you, like Facebook has to tell you that they're fucking advertising for regulations and you should support it because it's been 25 years since you passed more laws for
because any big business benefits from regulation.
No, but Facebook, and rather than Facebook being like, we want you to be able to say whatever you want, which was what they used to say.
Yeah.
Now Facebook is like, don't you think we should have more regulations on the internet? Yeah. The mask is off.
It's just like Amazon, right? Amazon, everyone's like, oh, Amazon's abusing its employees. Amazon is the one pushing for a higher minimum wage because they know it'll put their millions of their smaller competitors out of business.
Overnight.
And for them, it's just a bit off the top of the line.
Yep.
And the bigger the business is, the more regulation is in their favor.
Yep.
They have the resources to deal with it. Well, it adds more barriers to entry for competition.
All I'm saying
and
is
the fact that people don't understand that blows my fucking mind.
Well, they don't understand that, but it's going to become easier as the mask comes off. This is what I'm saying, is the mask is off, where Facebook is direct on the Wall Street Journal, directly advertising for laws. They're advertising that they want more law. So if you know,
Amazon is too.
Amazon too. All I'm saying is like more people. This is the prime time for people like this because more people. Yeah, I gotta take a leak. I want to have a beer. I want to wrap this thing up in like 2 minutes. Yeah, we did an hour 20 minutes is pretty good. I almost want to go to an hour 30, but in like 12 minutes. I want to take a leak. That's irrelevant. I don't.
In case anyone's wondering, Bill has to pee.
I gotta pee, man. So I feel like the whole thing though with all this shit, the government is advertising that they're advertising for the government.
Yeah.
They're like, we're gonna tell CNN to tell you that we're gonna try to convince you in the next few months that we might be able to help you. Meanwhile, we're giving out more money than ever to help you. Meanwhile, this tour to tell you that we can help you, try to convince you on that, is to sell you on the idea that we're going to have to take more money from you to help you.
Spending money to do the tour.
It's so fucking crazy. And I just think that it gets more and more illogical on its face. It used to, when you could hide this behind, when Facebook...
But the corruption doesn't even, like, it is primo corruption. Like, they don't pretend. They don't even pretend. They're like, fuck you, what are you going to do about it? Nothing. Sit the fuck back down. We're going to do some more evil shit, and you guys are going to do shit about it. Like,
and I get record numbers of hate on my fucking Facebook for the shit I say. But also, I meet record numbers of people who are like, yeah, this is really bullshit. I don't think any of these people have my interest in mind. And so I don't know. I'm so torn. I'm like, and I told this to Dennis on the thing. I'm like, I'm simultaneously crushed and like inspired. And half my days being like, this is the worst, most authoritarian thing ever. And then the other half my days like plotting and scheming, like in Mises Cox's chat. Yeah, we're gonna do this thing. And I have like little videos.
That's why, like, at this point, I am full-fledged for balkanization.
What is that?
Like breaking up the country.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like.
Well, decent. Yeah.
I mean, at this point, they just had a survey, or it looks like the polls, the
Gallup
poll. It was like 42% of the country supports it.
Because nobody thinks like Washington is.
Yeah, because they did it by reason. Like in the South, it's like 52% of Republicans are for.
Right.
But then like out in California, it's like 60% of Democrats want to separate, and 60% of Republicans want to separate, and then like I think the Midwest had like the smallest portion of people. That's because nobody's fucking with them for the most part. I mean, like somewhat, but not as like it's not as right. Like you know what I mean? Like I feel like people get along out there. It's not as like the divide isn't as harsh.
Yo, if you drive through the Midwest. I drove to the Midwest in October last year before the elections.
That's what I mean. Like it's more of a homogenous community.
It's super homogenous.
Yeah, we're like.
But then also, I think those people have a better understanding of real life.
Oh, for sure.
Than people who live in a city stacked on top of each other.
Yeah.
And like, that's not real life. But it's like, you don't provide for, you don't know how to grow a vegetable. Like the people who fucking two people. And their assistant, their farmhand comes by, run 50 acres of whatever, and then they employ one guy in town, and then there's a population of 350, and they grow fucking acres and acres of whatever bullshit they're growing out there. That person knows how to survive, knows how to save money, knows how to fucking do. They're in a much more practical way, much smarter than you stupid New Yorker. Like, and I love people of all different types and stripes, but like. People who live in the city are like, we all have to just be taxing everybody more. People have this much in assets. They believe in taxation.
But it all falls down. And I'm using blueberries as currency because I got a pretty big farm that I not have a very small hobby farm. But I'll be alright, you know?
Yeah, man. There's real life stuff that you can do. If you can only work on a computer, you can only do this, you can only fucking.
If you only do statistic data analytics for a financial advisor corporation, I don't know, some more acronyms.
I hope you're a hobby.
Yeah.
Hey, do you want to wrap this up?
Yeah. You can wrap it on up.
Dude, thank you for coming on.
Yeah.
This is a pleasure.
It's a great time.
Do it again.
I
want to start up, and it would be more appropriate, less jokes about racism forum. A New Hampshire Mises Caucus podcast. I'm going to say it on the record here. So if you're in the New Hampshire Mises Caucus and you want to be on the podcast where we talk about legit, real shit, and I will abstain from making jokes that are inappropriate and offensive and will only trigger people, I want to make it happen. Even if you're like in New England, maybe we'd be just New England Mises Caucus. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm doing it. So if you're live, we're live, and if you're watching this, we're live. So throw it in the comments right now, and I'll respond to you in a second with what I think about your comment about us starting that thing. Instead, I'll tell you what you
think. And I'll be in the comments making passive jokes about the quality of this podcast.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks for coming.
All right.
And thanks for listening, people.
Well, that was one go of it. Pretty good show, I'm not gonna lie. it seems so irrelevant now. You know, it just seems like something that's like, I don't know, it was, 10, 12, not even 14 days ago? So it just seems like it's like a different world that I live in now. Because today, and the last few days, post-convention, post-takeover, I mean, it kind of is, it's not a different world, but it's like, it's a different conversation. And today we're talking about vaccines, passport, and stuff. It's just been a long one. I look forward to getting another episode out soon. I should record a serious one. You guys love serious, right? That's what you're here for. Serious bullshit. So, thank you for watching. I'm gonna pull up all my links to read to you here, because it's time for that. What did you guys think of Seth's idea of getting the ADA lawsuit passed, so that there had to be time for a recording of a bill to go, and then also time for that recording to be played to the public? So you'd have to have essentially double the time it would take to read the bill, at least, plus upload time, between the bill being introduced and passed. I think it's a really good idea. If you enjoyed this, I would encourage you to go to my Facebook page and give it a follow, or send a friend request. I don't care. It's facebook.com/BillIsAJoke. My Twitter page is also BillIsAJoke. Instagram, height privilege, all one word. That's just like photos of mostly bugs on nugs. If you like the podcast, there's more of it. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, DQMOT Radio. Really only active on Facebook. And then the backlog, the RSS store of this podcast is at rss.com/podcasts/DQMOT. This podcast is brought to you by Free Speech Media Network. They're the best. They support everybody being allowed to say whatever they want. You know, they don't support everybody's beliefs, because we're all people here with different beliefs, but they support people being allowed to speak what they believe. And in 2021, I think that's a very rare and valuable thing. So if you like the idea of people being able to debate and put their opinions out there, give Free Speech Media Network a like. We're streaming on Trovo. We're on Facebook. We don't have a Twitter yet, but the Facebook is where we're really gaining some steam and momentum, and it'd be great if you give the page a like and a follow, and share with your friends who are also down with the free speech, because in 2021, 2022, who knows what's going to be proposed. We're talking about, the country's having a real conversation about vaccine passports today. Yeah, for sporting events and live entertainment. It's like, oh, you have to prove you got injected. It's not something I want to get into at 12:14 at night. But I do need to talk about this. There's a huge conversation to be had. I think it's a short conversation, and then it turns into a long conversation. I almost want to get somebody who really disagrees with me on here, and we'll have that debate. So thank you for tuning in. Like I say, show some love all those places. Bill is a Joke, if you like me. Podcast is DQMOT and Free Speech Media Network. Appreciate you watching. You guys are the best. I'm out.